Hello, as promised, and in lieu of all the people that are asking us what's happening with the album, we thought we'd give you a quick update on where we are and why Dave is responsible for the album being late.
I'm always responsible for something.
Yeah. So, what do we think, guys? I mean, we stopped recording the album because it was taking too long, and we wanted to put an album out of that, which is why we did Power Cut. And then we sort of, when did we start again? We sort of started again. I mean, well, basically it was all last year. We're still not. I mean, where we are now, I mean, basically we've recorded musically most of the tracks now, aren't we? And we're just doing the vocals.
Vocal overdubs.
So, first of all, David, what are your thoughts on the album? How it's shaping up and where it sits in our catalogue? It'll be our third album.
I think it's really good. I think there's some really good songs, and I think we've progressed. I know it's a cliche, but we've progressed musically, got more experienced, and a bit more complicated songs, more instrumentation on them. Fuller songs, I think, whereas our first album was a bit sort of just basic punky guitar, generally, apart from one, you know, there's one or two exceptions, but these is a bit more wide breadth of sounds and effects and things on it. They're more complicated, but that's how it goes with bands, isn't it? When they get, it's like anything, you get into doing something, you get more experience and you progress.
Do you think your judgment's maybe a bit clouded, because bands always say that their current work's their best?
Maybe,
do you think that's the case, or do
No,
you
I
think looking back we'll look upon this album as being better than the first two?
Maybe slightly. The middle album, Power Cut, is kind of...
It's not really an album, is it? It's an odds and
sods. There's some new songs on there, there's some original songs on there, yeah. But some of the songs from the first album just done in a different way, so you kind of can't really compare the second album to the first and third, this one coming. But I think it's different. You know, it's about how much you enjoy an album. Some people might enjoy the first album more than this one, and vice versa. But just looking at it from a technical point of view, I think these are just more complicated, complex kind of songs, and more, like I say, more instrumentation on it. We're more experienced. Got Alicia now drumming on this album fully, and percussion, etc. So yeah, I think it's better as just an opinion, really, isn't it? Because some people like it's like any band. Some people say, oh, the first album was the best, or some people say, oh, the fifth album was the best. It's choice. I think it's usually.
But I think with other bands that have made it, so to speak, they've got the support network from the very first album, haven't they? With us, you know, that's not the case. We didn't have the equipment. No. We had to rely on the experience of others, which was good at times. Yeah. What's your vibe then, Alicia, on this album?
I mean, mostly the same.
Sorry?
Dave's kind of said everything.
Say again, sorry.
Dave's kind of said everything.
Well, yeah.
Don't waffle on.
See, you never shut up, Alicia. That's your problem.
Yeah. No, I do like it.
I mean, you came in at the back end, didn't you? So, I mean, you've been more involved in the process. I don't thought it would take this long, to be honest. But, I mean, there's been a lot of things. I mean, I've had health problems. We've all got lives. You know, there's been various things.
Yeah, like, it could have been done quicker if we were... This was our
only
thing to do.
The other thing I'm going to say is yourself, Alicia. I know you on Power Cut you did all the... because it's the first of original material. The drumming's all your work, your writing, right?
Yeah, I didn't really copy from.
No. When we make a song, we have a basic drum track as for the demo, and then that's just a guide. It's like a fancy metronome, for want of a better word, and then you just overlay that on what you want to do. Yeah, that's the difference. We didn't obviously do that on the first album because you weren't really around where that was all added on.
Here, but I wasn't discovered yet.
Like I said, that's a big difference is the drumming.
You need a drummer. If you don't have a drummer,
Okay.
But we're getting there.
Yeah. So, if we just do a quick round table then, what 3 tracks would you tell people to look out for? What are the 3 tracks that you think, and why do you think they should be? And we can name drop some of the album tracks. It's not national.
Well, you know my top one.
Well, everybody else needs to know those. So
Before Me, Last Year Final Warnings, and this is an off the wall one. The instrumental one. Elixir, that's it. Thank you, Elixir.
Well, quickly then, why?
Well, it's not totally instrumental, but it started out life as an instrumental.
Why Before Me then?
It just kicks in. It reminds me. There's an Oasis track I really like called Step Out, I think it is, which was accused of ripping off Stevie Wonder's All Right, Everything's All Right, whatever it was. And it's that kind of vibe. It's a bang, comes out the box, hits you fast.
I know it's probably you 2 guys' favourite song on the album. Would that be fair?
It just hits you, grabs you. That's what the first release from an album should do, in my view. Last Year Final
Is that the first single then?
Well, that's a decision for the Lords. But Last Year Final Warnings, I'm really proud of. It's very different to what. It's kind of a bit of a spiritual brother of Luxor. It's kind of mellow, but it's done in a reggae Caribbean kind of style. And then Elixir, I was really.
Should we have had steel drum in it then?
No, that wouldn't have worked. No, that would be a bit cliche.
Is that something you'd like to experiment with?
I don't know. I don't really know much about steel drum, steel pan drum.
It's very niche, isn't it? You can't really apply it to maybe other musical forms. Can you really?
It's not really.
Yeah. Even reggae music doesn't use steel drums. Steel drums are just a very.
It's like Caribbean.
It's very Caribbean niche. You don't hear steel drums with other instrumentations. It's just on its own. So reggae music doesn't have steel drums.
And Last of Your Final War, Elixir, which is the closing track on the album.
I'm really proud of that. It's ambient. It's kind of ambient techno-ish. No, it's not techno. It's not fast like techno, but I love that. And we've added some vocals to it. So that's my 3. So you guys, what are your 3?
Well, you like Before Me. You can add another 3, or you could just add 2 to that, or if you agree with David. It'd be nice to get some comment out.
I am saying things. Before Me, obviously, because it's just the best one. It just is. That's the only reason.
Yeah, I mean, you're both pretty sold on that, aren't you?
It's quick, but not. It's not too quick. It's just,
a banger.
A banger.
It's not too punky in your face, but it's like. It's just good. Just a good song.
I'm gonna have to beef up to play the bass on that. It's like.
One Day. Forgot that one.
Yeah,
One Day. That's good because I like the drums that do in it. Yeah, that's a good one. I do like that one. It's kind of similar though, in like drums way and all the other instruments way. And I like Drop Wild as well.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me a bit of.
I think.
Well, what's the song? Bittersweet Symphony.
Really?
Yeah, it reminds me of that.
I get a Talk vibe from it. I don't know about you. You wouldn't know Talk, would you? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to say, Drop
Not
World.
Talk.
I do.
Drop World is like if Nirvana and the Cure had ever got together and made something. That's what I think.
That's an interesting thought, David.
It's got Cure.
The vocals are like Bittersweet Symphony.
You think so?
Yeah, it's like sort of monotone all the way, but in a good way.
Yeah. But there's
it's not bad company to be in, is it?
No.
Let's be honest.
What about yourself, Annie? What are your 3 top 3?
One Day I've always liked. And I think it screams single to me. I think it's not necessarily a track people might expect from the first 2. It's a very reflective track. I think that's a good track. I would have that there. I like Born and Raised.
Obviously.
I love the guitar, I love the bass line in it, I love the heavy drumming in it. I think that's one of the tracks where if we mess about with that for the next 5 years, I won't be happy with it.
This one, Born and Raised.
Born and Raised, yeah.
We up
In terms of, when I say I won't be happy with it, I'll always be thinking that it's missing something, or we can add something
we
to
had a
it.
lot of trouble with that rhythm, Ricky, didn't we? With Born and Raised?
Well, I mean, we did want it on the first album, but
Yeah,
before she joined the band, because there's a change up in
the tempo,
from the verse to the chorus, and we just couldn't.
Too tricky with something.
Yeah, and it was,
One thing.
and we had recording issues with it, didn't we? And but I think I just think personally, I think it's one of our better
Born
tracks.
and Raised, again, reminds me a little bit of, it's like a partner song to Ghost Train, similar sort of feeling-ish. I know it's not.
Yeah.
It's like, like I just said about last defining warnings and.
I like the message in the song. I think it's relevant for our times.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like that. But I mean, there's going to be 15 tracks on the album, so quite a lot. I mean, my third one, I would say Bitter Pill.
Yeah.
Again, I like that. I think it's got a catchy chorus. Again, I think the message in there is important. But yeah, it may sound cliche, but you know, you hear a lot of bands saying they don't want to do the same thing twice. And I definitely don't think we've done that with this album. I think it's different.
Yeah.
There's certainly more layers to most of the songs on this. The production route we're going is different to on the first album, definitely.
It's still the same main genre. Still sort of rock.
Oh yeah,
Like,
but I mean, I just hope it'll be worth the wait. I mean, because like we always say, you know, you might spend a year or 2 years recording it, but you might spend it, hopefully, certainly in mine and your case, David, hopefully we'll have 20 years listening back to it.
At least not the Cure, it took 14 years to make this album, their latest album.
No, but they did have a body of work behind them before that. How many albums did they do before that?
Oh, 10, 11.
Oh, yeah, well, we've got a way to go. But
They're
yeah, so
professionals,
let's quickly end this then. Timelines. You know, I think, what do you think, guys? I mean, so we've just got rid of the vocals to finish. We've probably got 1 or maybe 2 sessions where we need to get your guys' vocals.
Yeah.
I can do my vocals
Wow.
whenever, and then it's just a production. But I mean, I'm thinking maybe late spring we should be there, because we haven't done a lot live recently, have we? And I think that's the right way. We've got to get this finished.
Yeah.
And then we've sort of got to get elbow our way in really, and have a word with some of the shaker makers in Leicester and get ourselves there again, because we certainly want to go out. And we'll need to rehearse these new songs. I think a lot of them are going to be more difficult to produce live.
You just don't do all the instruments. You just do the main.
Well, for me and Dave, not for you, because you just do
the
it.
main, like,
What
the
you
main
do
guitar
is
that
we
sounds
sit down
makes the song.
and listen through the album. When we finish the album, sit down and listen to it and plan out what we can do live. Because I think we're all about 6 or 7. You're not going to play the old album live. You can't do it.
I don't think we've ever been given a slot where we've had enough time to do 15 tracks.
No, you're not.
But the good thing is, you can
maybe
maybe focus on a few and get them right. But if you can
bands
do more, then obviously you can just change up the set.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing, you know. There's some people that have been to most of our gigs, they don't really want to hear us doing the same things over and over again. But then, by the same token, as you add another album, you might drop 1 or 2 tracks from your set, which are certain people's favourite tracks, and they'll say, why aren't you playing that?
You've got to remember where we're at. We're not one of these top professional band with a household name can have 3 or 4 other musicians on tour with them, so they can play all their albums, who do all the complexes. There's only 3 of us. We're not going to rope in, pay another 2 or 3 musicians in, so we've got to do make it work with just the three of us, yeah, you can try backing tracks. That's another look at.
Well, that is something we're going to have to move into.
Yeah. But I think there's
more.
There's
we
two or
have
three tracks
dealt
on
with
that.
backing track previously, but
Yeah,
It's
but
not really-
on the new album, there's at least two tracks. I think we just can't really, as we sit here with backing track, it's not going to work live. I think we stick at doing, but I think there's about 6 at least we can do live, just the three of us, that sound really good. And maybe get them polished, the three of us, and then see what backing tracks we can do. That's just my view. That's down the road. We've got to get the album finished, listen to it, and then think
Actually
what
rehearse
we can
them.
do live. I think listen to it, the three of us,
Yeah.
write down the three, whatever, 6 or 7 we think we can do live, pull off live, just the three of us playing. And I think there are 6 or 7 like that. And then we can, go from there.
Yeah.
But that's down the line, one step at a time.
what has been a highlight of the recording of this album for you first, David? Unless you've got time to think about your answer now. So.
Again, coming up with nice ideas, like new stuff, new guitar lines and things and bits like that, and yeah, pushing yourself to do more interesting things, learning a bit, gaining experience. That's how I think. Some of the bits I'm really proud of. I'm really happy with some music. It's.
And you, Alicia, did you feel a little bit left out after the first album? And if so, do you feel more involved now, or do you just because your timing was towards the end of the album anyway, the first album? Is this experience what's been a highlight for you?
Well, obviously, I did come in late, so kind of like, alright, that's sailed, fair.
It's not like you to be late at
no.
all this year,
No.
ever, is it?
Oh, no, never, I'm always on time. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of like, but obviously I did feel like a little bit left out, but it's what it is, without not bothered too much.
If I can just add, it's been nice making an album with Alicia drumming. So you've got, the first album was just me and Anthony.
Yeah.
The drums are added,
It's
by
not
another
a person,
process.
It's not a human.
Not even
it's
a human playing them. It's been nice.
There's no
it's
character.
more organic.
There's no character.
To produce it.
Computer.
Yeah, like so.
But yeah, anyway, highlights probably just making up all the fun, quick drum bits.
You just like hitting things, don't you?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
You're doing all the fun bits and then hearing it back and like, oh yeah, that sounds alright actually.
And another thing.
Also, just one thing and that's it. Using the funky new cymbal with the holes in.
Yeah.
Got a new funky new China cymbal. Yeah, that's it.
I think what's good about it is all of us like experimenting.
Yeah.
I've certainly no conscious desire to want to sound like anybody else.
No, no point.
You always will sound like somebody else to an extent.
Subconsciously,
But it will be interesting to see how people react to it.
I'll tell you one other thing, just a couple of other quickly. Because we did the last album acoustically, I veered away from doing anything acoustically kind of based for this album because you're a bit sick of the acoustic thing from the last album.
It's not the right.
No. But the other thing is as well, during making this album, come up with a lot of other ideas, song ideas that are not on this album that can go on the next thing.
But a lot of people write songs on acoustic guitars and then they advance it on.
Which is that's true. Or the electric.
I think an acoustic guitar as a tool for songwriting is very important.
Of course it is, yeah. And like you say, most songs are
It's more typical in pop songs though.
Yeah, most songs are written on acoustic guitars with more than pianos and other instruments. But I veered away doing
when you
acoustic
write
tracks.
songs, David, do you do it on acoustic or are you straight on the electric?
Funny enough,
Or is it if you've got an idea, it's just quicker to get the acoustic
It's acoustic
out?
in the sense of I pick an electric guitar up, not plug it in sometimes and jam some chords.
Really?
And then
Well,
I'll
if I
faff
try
about
down the bass, I
5
won't be able to hear anything.
No, well, you do on on a hollow-bodied acoustic, but then I'll plug it into something and have a listen. What sound, what type of distortion or chorus or effects sound good with those chord sequences? Then I'll think of then immediately what I tend to do is find a drum pattern on the machine to back it, to get the timing in. That's how I'm doing it at the minute. You don't always do that. Or sometimes, in very occasions, I come up to pick up the bass and pick a bass riff, do something like that. Done that before. Very rarely write on a keyboard, because I'm not a keyboard player. I can add bits for keyboard, but I'm not a keyboardist. So I've heard of people saying they've written songs.
Well, Paul McCartney wrote songs on piano. A lot of the songs.
I'm not a pianist, so you could try. But what I really want to learn more is looping and doing looping stuff and things like that. Sampling and looping, I need to get more into that. But that's another day. But that's my waffle anyway. So.
Okay, guys. Let's just finish up then. You were talking like you've been listening to the new Cure album, which of course went to #1.
Yeah.
Songs for a Lost World.
Yeah.
So, what do you think to the album then?
Well,
I mean, I'm not a huge Cure fan, so
I've only heard the live concert. I've not heard the actual album.
I thought you did.
No, I've listened to the live. Did a live gig, put it on
Right.
YouTube, and it's very Cure, but yeah. If you're a Cure fan, you really like it. But I can't say I've listened to the whole album. I'm going to get the CD when I get time, and I will listen to it because I've drifted away from the Cure. The last few albums I didn't really listen to after Disintegration.
Any of your favourite acts? Have they released anything recently? Royal Blood released an album not that long ago, didn't they?
It was still a while ago. It was like over a year ago.
The Cure very much influenced that, of interest.
Sorry, The Cure.
Very much influenced Royal Blood.
Did they?
Yeah.
Are they a UK band, Royal Blood? I don't know anything
Yeah.
about them, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Well, I haven't looked at new music recently from anyone.
I mean, there doesn't seem to be a lot of material coming out from the bands, do
No,
they?
the bands are not fashionable really. Well, they are ish and not hugely, not like there's still a few about, but it's a lot of solo artists that are fashionable now.
Because you do. Just you and a guitar or whatever. Or a big pop star.
I think bands come in and out of fashion at the minute. They're not really in fashion. It's more.
I mean, was
solo.
Taylor Swift's the biggest tour in history, was it, in terms of revenue? It lasted about 2 years though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Eras tour.
And just seeing today, the #1 album's Elton John's greatest hits. I mean,
Is
how
it?
depressing is that?
Well, that'll please my daughter.
Yeah, Elton John. But anyway, he's done a couple of okay songs, but that's about it. I wouldn't say I was a big fan.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. No.
No.
I'd rather listen to our next album than an Elton John album, put it that way.
Well,
Anyway.
I'm hoping it's this is money for the grandkids. The revenue we get from this album, absolutely.
Wrong.
You know, we'll all be able to sit in our castles, counting our gold.
That's a good name for a song. Good lyric there out there, sitting in our castles, counting our gold. Write it down. That's on the next album. Sitting in our castles, counting our gold. That is the one. That could be a very apt lyric for today, for this time we live in.
Okay, so in summary then, we're getting there with the album, which is called Born and Raised, our third album, and we hope it will be ready for late spring, early summer, and hopefully the wait will be worth it.
Oh, it will.
Thanks to everybody that's been asking us and has been patient, and we appreciate the feedback we do get, and we do realise it's been a while since we've done an album. It has been a while since we've done an album, but it's been a while since we've done a YouTube recording, but hopefully you'll find this informative, and if you've got any questions, please drop us a link, and the old usual messages, please subscribe if you've not. Like most YouTubers, we get far more views than we do people subscribing, so if you could subscribe and like, we'd really appreciate that. Hope for the next time we do a video, the album will be out, but until then, thanks a lot.
Yeah, and buy the Cure album and not the Elton John album.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye all.